everybody. So today I posted on my personal page that I would dig a little bit deeper into me and my story. It's been something, there's bits and pieces, and I mean, there's nothing about me that is any different than other people. We all just have our own story. We all have our own reasons why we're here and why we do what we do. I just feel like today, it's been 9 months I've been coaching, and I'm constantly trying to, tell other people to share their journey and to reach out to other people and try and help as many people as possible. With that being said, we always have conversations about why it is that they're doing this and, what makes them so passionate about it. I sat here and I tried to type out I could write a book on my story. I think we could all write a book on our own story. And we all have a reason for doing what we do or not doing what we want to do, or something that holds us back. And I was one of those people. I've always been a very skeptical person. I had a rougher childhood, and today I really sat here and I dug deeper into, what it is that I want, like what it is that I want from life, and what it is that was holding me back from doing all these things and waiting till almost my 30th birthday to finally take this big leap of faith in doing stuff and taking chances that were really going to benefit me and and my family, and help people so that I could have that feeling inside of me that I was doing something that I loved each and every day. I look back, and today when, I was jotting some things down and just going over my feelings and writing in my journal, I knew I wanted to post that I was going to share, because if I didn't do that, then I probably wouldn't. I am a person that needs accountability, because I just know that I can easily just try and forget about it. I know myself well enough that some things are really scary for me, and I don't like scary shit. I mean, who likes scary shit? But ultimately, I really dug deep into myself and my past, and with some help from a wonderful woman that's been helping me make some great changes in my life, and not even just with the business aspect of it, but with myself, because I've been really working on myself in many different ways over the last 9 months, but there was some stuff that I was leaving out, and stuff that I was not willing to face because I didn't want to, because it was yucky, and it's easier to forget about the crap that's occurred in your life, and you don't want to talk about the scary shit, and you don't want to remember the way it made you feel. It was horrible. So for me, I look back and I go back to some key points in my life that were tough. I lost my father when I was 11 years old, suddenly, and my world changed when that happened, in a sense that, he was everything to me. He was the person I looked up to. I felt like he was the person that pushed me to do everything I wanted to. I never ever had somebody believe in me the way he believed in me. And when I lost that, I lost myself. I didn't have the best relationship with my mother, in a sense that I didn't respect her the way I respected my father. I didn't feel like I had anybody to make proud anymore. So all of those things that I was doing to make him proud, I quickly just stopped doing them. This led into my teenage years. I became very rebellious. I was an angry teenager. I I just had this like carefree attitude. I didn't really care about school. I got kicked out of 2 high schools for truancy, and because I just didn't care to go. I didn't have something. I didn't have that vision of where I wanted to be. I didn't have that goal of the person I wanted to become. I got mixed up in a different crowd of people than what I had initially grew up with. I had lost touch with a lot of family and a lot of friends, and I began this lifestyle of I don't give a fuck. And that's how I felt. And that continued with me for a long time. And I just, I never got into a lot of trouble, but I definitely was a troublemaker. I was a bully in a sense that I didn't care what I said or what my actions did and how they affected people. I didn't realize I was hurting people by hurting myself, but I didn't know how to care. I had lost somebody in my life that was the person that I felt guided me, gave me direction. And without him, I was lost. And for some of you, you're probably thinking, well, that was a long time ago. But when you only have one person, one male figure in your life that you feel you can truly connect with, and they're gone, it's, life changes. So it was tough. My teenage years were really tough. When I was 16 years old, I met my son's father. My son's father was definitely from a different crowd of people than what I was used to hanging out with. I was attracted to, all of a sudden, and strangely, oddly enough, that bad boy mentality. He lived life on the edge, and that was something that, I guess I was attracted to at that point in time in my life. And so at the age of 17, by the age of 17, I was pregnant, and I was scared, and I didn't know what I was going to do. But I had my son's father, and that's all I really had. And I thought that's all that I really needed. And I was going to have this baby, and life was going to be great. And then you realize that life isn't going to be great. I lacked guidance. I didn't really have anybody to help me make those big decisions. I'm a very stubborn person, and so I sometimes am one-track minded, and I see things my way, and that's the way I want to do them. And so pregnant at that age, I was scared. But it was a moment for me in my life that changed my life, because all of the things I had been doing, I knew I couldn't do that anymore. I always tell Lyle that he saved my life, because he absolutely did save my life. He gave me that motivation, that that strength to know that I couldn't live this spiraling lifestyle that was just bringing me down, and I had to make something of myself. I had to be somebody for him. And so I was a high school dropout, but after my son was born on May 6, 2004, I went back to school, and I got my grade 12 and enrolled myself into college. I sinking in debt, because I had to take out loans. I was still maintaining the relationship with his father. That relationship nearly destroyed me. I was in a really toxic relationship. There was a lot of abuse, verbally, mentally, physically. And you don't even realize you're in it until you're in it, and until you're ready to leave it. It was just something that, we were young and we didn't know how to handle our emotions, and it wasn't good. We weren't good people together. So a lot of back and forth. I would want to leave. I'd have nowhere to go. I felt like I had put my life in somebody's hands. I had no control over what I really wanted to do, because I didn't have anybody supporting me for anything I wanted to do. The extent of the support I got was the fact to go to college, because you get a nice chunk of OSAP to pay all of our bills. And I look back now and I see all the mistakes that I've made. And, putting my son through that, I'm guilty of that. I allowed him to be in a home with two people that were not healthy together. I was really overweight, actually gained weight following the birth of my son. I was always around about 110 pounds through high school, healthy as a teenager can be. But I went up to 186 pounds when I gave birth to Lyle, and I started to lose a lot of the weight after he was born. And then within 6 months, I had gained all of the weight back and was up to my highest of 210 pounds. I was depressed in ways that I had no idea. I didn't take care of myself. I got up. I can remember getting up, going to school all day, and then picking Lyle up from the sitters, and taking him home just to spend a bit of time with him, and then taking him back to the sitters so that I could work at night. And it was just, that was my life, and I was accustomed to it, and I made it work, and I knew I had to make it work, and I knew that I wanted to do something to make my son proud. But all in the meanwhile, while I was doing it, I was maintaining this lifestyle with his father that was destroying me in ways that I look back and it was tough. I think it's even tougher now to look back and see it than being in it in the moment. You learn to adapt to certain things, and you learn to adjust thinking that things are okay, and it really wasn't okay. So for those of you that are in a relationship like that and you feel alone and you feel like you have nowhere else to go, you can get out of it. You can find happiness again. You don't forget, but it makes you stronger. So it took a lot of back and forth. I'm not going to lie. It was, I probably left maybe 5-6 times, and always went back, and then you go back because that's what you know. And I was terrified to be alone, and I didn't feel like I had anybody I could reach out to help me overcome the way I was feeling and making better decisions for myself. I was young. I was, in my early 20s, and I just thought, I was looking around and seeing all of these people happy, and it was easy to pretend. It's really easy to pretend sometimes. I always say I only cry at nighttime. But that was done. And then I was able to, I found the courage to, I had to work a lot of hours and I missed out on a lot of time with Lyle because he was at the sitters, but I managed, and I would go to school and I finished school and I was working my butt off, and it was just me and him. And I really thought I found a new happiness. I found a new part of me because I was proud of myself. I was proud of myself for doing it on my own, and that I didn't feel like I needed anybody to carry me through, and that I could overcome such a horrific past. But all while I was doing this, I was just kind of masking it all. I never really dug deep into it. And it was hard because I looked at it and I wanted to be happy, and I can remember saying like, oh, all I have to do is look at Lyle and I get that ambition again, and I'm going to do something. And I can remember being so excited, when I knew that college was almost over and I had already got a job opportunity that I was excelling at and doing really well at, and that I loved. And for once I was like, I'm proud of myself. Like, I did this. I overcame this. I'm not that statistic. I didn't fall into that, that dreaded, like, the system of going on social assistance and having them pay for everything. Like, I wanted my son to look back and say, if my mom can do it, I can do it. And I wanted him to look back and go, oh, my mom fought through everything to make a life for me. And I wanted him to have everything. And I was going to do it. And I was going to do it for him. I never was going to do it for me. I was always going to do it for him. And so I kept trucking along, and the two of us we were making it through, and we were doing great. Like, obviously there were some things that were tough, and bills were tough to pay on your own, and it was really hard. There was even following the relationship with his dad, the battle never ended. There was always a battle. And I just kept fighting through, and I thought that's what the rest of my life looked like. I honestly believed and learned to accept that I'm going to work all day, be tired all night, but I'm always going to have a roof over our heads. And I'm always going to make sure that little boy has everything he needs. And I accepted that, and I was okay with that, because that's better than what some people can do. And then it got tougher sometimes. I finished college and I was working as a child and youth worker, and so I would work in group home facilities with youth, something that I was deeply passionate about because I could empathize with them. I knew what they were going through. I had felt some of the pain. And I did well. I, started to move up in the industry and was well respected in the area. And I loved those kids like they were my own, regardless of what their issues were. I was always there, and I wanted to be that one person that I didn't have. And it was tiring, though. It was tiring. I felt like I was a mom to a little boy, but also a mom to 5 to 10 other teenage girls. But I felt like I was doing something. I came home every day with a sense of accomplishment. And then I would come home and I'd get that time with Lyle, and I'd put him in bed. And then I'd go in my bedroom and I'd look in the mirror and I'd cry. I hated the person I saw. I hated the life I was living, in a sense of I never felt like I was going to be able to give Lyle everything. I was giving him the bare minimum and I wanted to give him more. So I said, fuck it. And I started looking for jobs in the Toronto area. And I decided I was going to pack him up and I was going to find a better job, something that would give us more opportunity. And I was going to make something of myself. I was going to make something of myself. And so I did. Nobody believed I was going to do it, but I did. I packed my shit and I went and I got a good job. I was making decent money. And I had this whole mentality I was going to do it on my own. I didn't need anybody else. And I got up there, and that was the loneliest 2 years of my life. I was there for about 2 years. I can remember working from 7 o'clock in the morning till about 8 o'clock at night. And then the evening would be spent with Lyle. We do everything we can on the weekends. It was just the two of us, and we were just, we were in the rink. My son's always been a hockey player, and I would not eat for a week if I could. If I needed the money for hockey, I would never ever let him go without that. And but I was lonely. Oh, was I lonely? And our bond, mine and Lyle's bond, I mean, we've always been close. I've always maintained that relationship with him, but I missed adult conversation. And of course, being stubborn, I wouldn't tell people that I was scared and alone, and I just put on a big smile. And when people came to visit when they could, it was just, life was grand. Life was good, just show everybody. It was all about showing everybody. Show everybody that you can do it. Show everybody that you're strong and Wonder Woman or whoever the fuck I was trying to be. And here I was just sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into depression. Like even deeper than I was when I was here or when I was in that toxic relationship that literally pulled me apart. Now I'm in this big city alone with this little boy that looks to me like I can fix the world. Hiding your tears, it gets tough. And it was tough. The decision to come back was a good one. Being from a small town, and I think we all say at one point in our life, oh, I gotta get out of this place, I gotta get out of this small town and see the city and see more of life. And well, I did it and I hated it. So I came back. I knew I didn't want to go back to right into Belleville where I was. I wanted to be out and in the country where there was quiet and where we could kind of set up a home base. And I felt like we were starting over yet again. And, but this time I really sat down and thought things through about how I was going to do it. So we moved to Campbellford. It was a new place, quiet little place. And we fell in love with it. I started to slowly connect with friends again, and I met my now boyfriend Jeff. And it's been a really long time since I've opened that door for a relationship, because it has always been Lyle and I. You know, Lyle doesn't see his father. He hasn't in a very long time. So to allow somebody to come in and play that role was another scary thing. It's something that I came back and I thought I was going to start things in a different way. And I did. I came back and I started working back here with my old boss. She was excited for me to come back. I went right back into management, right back into working long days and endless hours of being on call. But ultimately, I found something that, an area and somewhere to call home and really plant my feet. And it just kind of, it just started to seem to go better. And I had met somebody, and it was a really long time since I had allowed myself to let anybody in. I was okay with being alone. I felt like I was better alone. I started to convince myself that that's the way my life was supposed to be. It's just Lyle and I. And then I thought, well, I can't really be selfish because, you know, this little boy needs some male guidance, because I remembered what it did to me lacking it. So we moved here, and everything seemed to go well, but I started to fall back into that same rut, that same feeling of, is this it? I didn't have anything I was really working towards. I didn't have any big goals or big dreams. I had learned to just accept how life was supposed to go. I just learned to just say, well, you wake up every day, I'm fed, I have a roof over my head, and I'm blessed. And I have people that love me. And I learned to just adapt to that. And, you know, and I'm not taking that away from people that live that life and think that that's okay, because that is so okay. And I admire people that think of life that way, because it could be a lot tougher. But for me, it just wasn't enough. You know, I wanted to do big things. I wanted my son to see the world that I didn't see, and see them through the eyes. And now that he's 11 years old, he really looks to me, and everything that I do and I say, I can see him watching and just believes everything that comes out of my mouth. So I want to make sure that the information that I'm passing on and what I'm teaching him is all stuff that's really going to benefit him in his future. So I remember falling kind of into this little bit of depression, my weight, my insecurities, struggling to learn how to adapt to sharing a life with a man, because it'd always just been me. And so there was just so many things in my life that were just, you know, push and pull, and I needed to find something. And I can remember seeing a friend of mine doing this workout program, And I thought, what the hell? I mean, my life throughout my relationship with Lyle's dad was nothing but, I mean, diet pills and starvation and anything that I could do just to try and lose a couple pounds, only to end up gaining more. And it was this yo-yo effect constantly. And, you know, and then hearing Jeff, my now boyfriend, say, like, why don't you just do something for yourself? Since the day I met you, you're always doing stuff for everybody else, but you never do anything for yourself. I didn't realize it, but that's what made me feel good. You know, it's been me and Lyle, so everything I did was for him. It wasn't about myself. It wasn't about making myself feel good. It was about putting a smile on other people's faces, the same as my job. You know, I was there to help heal them and to help guide them, not them to guide me or to help me. So that was my life. My life was about giving to other people, and he was right. And 9 months ago today, I said, what the hell? What do I have to lose? Really? Well, nothing. So I started the program. I signed up as a coach. Didn't know if I was like signing up as a coach for the discount, or if I really wanted to work the business once I figured it out. Had great results. I started to actually feel good about myself. I'll never forget it because it was actually day 19 of the 21-day fix. I had somebody come up to me and say, you look the absolute best I have seen you in years. And it wasn't about my weight, it was about the smile and the glow. And they see me out getting my nails done and doing stuff for myself. And it was like, yeah, you know, like, this feels good. I didn't know it's what it felt like to just do something for yourself. And indirectly, you're doing something for others and not even realizing it. And so I was addicted. It was exactly what I wanted to do. And as time went on and I continued to learn more and do more research and meet new people and talk to new people, I actually started to see a vision. I started to see a clear vision of what my future could look like. And I actually am taking those steps each and every day to do that. I've never done that in my life. Never. I've never looked and actually just go, wow, I know what I'm going to do, what I'm going to have, what my son's going to be brought up in this life, and all these new things that he's going to get to experience, all because I took a decision to do something for myself. And it's just something that it lights me right up. You know, I can look back and I can sit and I can dwell on the abuse from my ex, or the death of my father, or the struggles of being alone, and the scary 2 years I had in the city by myself, and, you know, all of the anger I had as a child. I can hold on to that with me forever, or I can let it go. And I really feel like I can use that as a fire, you know, and remind myself, I don't want to forget everything that's happened to me. I don't want to ever lose sight of where I came from. But I do spend more of my time focusing on where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. I have met some of the most amazing people in the last 9 months that have just taken me in and filled a huge void that I had in my life for so long. You know, I had many friends, but when you have friends that feel like family, and friends that share a passion and friends that can convince you to share your hardship. That's a lot. That's something that I'm so grateful for. I swore I wasn't going to name any names or do anything when I did this video, because writing this story is just so much. And obviously there's a lot of details that go with it, but I feel like this is a really big moment for me. This is really bringing something out for me that I needed to do. But there's just one person that I really, really want to thank. And she just helped me in ways that I don't think she realized. And to see the good in myself, and she believes in me, and I believe in myself. So Christina, thanks for that. I tried to get through this without crying. Maybe that would happen. Ultimately, I just want to, my goal from all of this is to let people know that we all have our shit. We all have moments in our life that we hold on to that we feel like they have destroyed us. Nobody is destroyed. Nothing is unfixable. You know, there's something out there that can light a fire in your eyes and you can see and find the passion again. I'm constantly putting at the bottom of all of my posts to love yourself. Little do you guys know, I write that to remind myself every day. Yes, I have found something I'm passionate about. Yes, I love things about myself now that I never could learn to appreciate before. And it's something that when I talk about this isn't me trying to sell you something. This isn't me just, you know, not being myself. I'm a passionate, deep person, and that comes with a lot of history and a lot of, you know, a lot of story to tell. I don't want to be that mean, angry person anymore. I don't want to be that person that looks around in disgust, looks in the mirror and hates who she sees. I don't ever want to go back to that person. Am I where I want to be? No, I am not. But I have dreams now of where I want to be. And I smile about it because I know I'm going to be there. I know. Because I don't have anybody in my life anymore that can hold me down, including myself. That version of myself that pulled me down is not there. Life's good. Life is good. And I am really happy. I just don't look it. I mean, I'm doing stuff I never thought I was capable of doing. Let alone sharing with complete strangers my tears. This is not a poor me. This is if you feel this in any way, know that there's something that you can get out of this that will make your life better. And it all starts with you. I won't stop trying to help people find the good in themselves. I won't, because it feels really damn good to do it. So there's a bit of my story and my why. You know, Lyle's always been my why. He's been my reason forever. For 11 years, he's been my why. But now, it's even bigger than that. It's way bigger. Just don't ever give up on yourself. We all get that point where we feel like we're at rock bottom. There's only one direction from rock bottom, and that's to go up. You just have to find it in yourself to do it. And when I say, if I could do it, anybody can do it, that is a genuine from the heart statement, because I feel like I have hit rock bottom before. And if I can do it, then I believe anybody can do it. So here's my mess of a video. It's gonna be the scariest shit I ever post. And I just want to thank you for basically just listening. Sometimes that's all we need, is somebody to listen. So whatever you do, just find it in yourself to figure out what it is that you want, where you want to go. And the steps to get there, they'll come. But no matter what your story is, don't ever feel like your story is too dirty, you know, too yucky. We all come from somewhere. So there's a little bit of me.